giving his icebreaker speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. The length of the speech is 4 to 6 minutes. Thank you, Sumit. We look forward to your speech.
Let's welcome all Sumit for his icebreaker speech. Now, Sumit, over to you.
Thank you, Emily. I can do it. I met my parents 37 years ago for the first time. And I was so excited that I forgot the dress code. Since then, from that particular day, I'm setting very high goals for myself. And without fail, I have always fallen short of the mark. But I always knew that someday I can do it. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. When I was 10, I got seriously ill. And I was on steroids for the next 7 years. The drugs were so strong that I used to always be in a sleepy state. So my 7 years passed virtually sleeping. And when I opened my eyes, when I woke up, I realized that I'm in college. So I set one big goal for myself. My first goal was that I will top the college examination. After 7 gap years, this is one of the biggest goals that I could think of. So on the very first year, I stood second, third. Second year, I stood second, and on the final year of my college, I was a topper. I was so happy. I was so excited. I was out of the world, and I felt that yes, I have done it. But at the same time, I came to know that college has a policy that they would award the topper of all the 3 years on a consolidated basis, which I was expecting that it could be my first award, but I missed it. This instance, I consoled my heart and I said, Sumit, it's okay, but one day you can still do it. Then last 2 years passed very well. I was at my master's. I did a lot of work on myself, and I was able to finally get a job. And I was again out of the excitement, was so happy. But soon I realized that job is fine. I would be needing a lot of money to live a happier life. So the next goal of my life was to be rich. I did everything possible. I changed my job. I invested in markets, stock markets. I traded, I speculated, and I made handsome money out there. But just before I could withdraw the money from my bank account, the 2008 market crash happened, and I lost it all. But deep down in my heart, I still knew that someday I can make it. I can do it. You know, I'm still working on this goal. Just last week itself, I bought a lottery ticket. Then one day, I had a silver pin in my wisdom tooth, and I decided to get married.
Sumit, we can't hear you. Can't see you also.
So where did I left? Then one day came a turning point in my life. I met a lady and she taught me how to meditate. That was a nice and golden moment of my life. And I was always willing to learn new things, so I learned this as well. Then with meditation, I started to see the world in high definition. I had a constant inner connection with myself. And that helped me do a lot of things that I always wanted to do. I had the alacrity to be in the moment, be present in the moment, to do things on the spot. because I was doing it all the things with my heart. I started to love the journey itself, and soon it became, I started realizing that it's not about the big goals that will give me happiness. And it's not about the big things in life that I can define my success with. I started loving each and everything that I started doing, and I could, within myself, express everything that I have learned, all my values I can put forward in all the work that I used to do. So my work started showing the part of me in itself. And now every single day when I wake up, I had a purpose in my mind that today I can do it with best of my abilities and with perfection. And not someday, but today I can do it. Thank you. Over to the Toastmaster. Thank you.
Well, Sumit, very well done. As I said, it never sounded like icebreaker actually. Throughout the speech, you were so confident. It wasn't an icebreaker actually, I would say. It was very well prepared speech, though out of your, life instances, the struggle which you have had and the learnings you have actually earned throughout these years. Very well shared, Sumit. Very well done. Uh, One thing I would like to mention here that the confidence you carry is really good. Throughout your speech, you had a lovely confidence on your face. But still, I would say you cannot beat Kamal. My friend Kamal, which I was which I was telling you people about. So we all 15, 20 students, new friends. We were all in our college corridor, and we were gossiping. We were having good talk, and somebody cracked the joke. I don't remember exactly what joke was that, but somebody said something, and we all started laughing. And there was one small group of seniors which was passing by from there, and he later on we got to know that he was president of the college. His name was Trivedi. Quite rude person, very well built, known for his uh, dangerous things he have done in college. And he overheard something. He thought then we were talking about him, and somebody among us cracked a joke about him. And he said, "Can you please come here?" He called one of us. And Kamal, being so confident, he didn't even crack the joke. He was just laughing like us. And he said, "You calling me?" He said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tu hi aaja. You please come." I said, "Okay. You calling me?" Again, he said, "So, yeah, yeah, I'm calling you only. Come, come." And he called him there, and he said, "What were you talking? Why were you laughing so loud? What was the problem? You were discussing, you said something about us." And our confident Kamal, he said, "No, no, no, nothing like that. We're not talking about you." He said, "No, no, please tell us right now, otherwise." And this confident guy, he said, "Okay, fine, whatever happened, happened, but please don't touch me. Huh? I'm telling you, don't touch me." And the moment he said, "Please don't touch me," as if, he invited something, and very first slap came from this Trivedi right onto his face, and he was again like after having got one, he said, "Please don't touch me again. I'm telling you, don't do it this time." And he again gave him second one, and followed by third one, followed by fourth one. He kept on slapping him like anything. So I will actually take a break again. I will give you a break again on this funny topic, and I would like to introduce our second speaker of the day, who would be Pritans, because for Rupinder sir, I think he will be taking the last speech. He will be actually delivering the last speech because that would be the longest one, I believe. So this we all know Pritans very well. He's good at delivering amazing speeches and all. So before that, evaluator for Pritans would be Anshu. So Anshu, can you take it from here and let us know about the speech which Pritans would be delivering a little bit? Anshu, can you hear us?
Anshu, can you hear us? And if possible, can you join from a mobile phone, because that will give you two devices.
Yeah. It's okay if Anshu is not there. There is some connection issues. I think Pritansh, can you start with it? Just introduce about the speech and all, and then start with the speech. So we all welcome Pritansh.
Hang on, Pritansh. What is your speech object? What is your speech project?
It's level 1, project number 2, evaluation and feedback. The first speech of evaluation and feedback.
Okay. So Pritansh is going to, I'll do the evaluation. Pritansh is going to deliver his level 1 speech number 2, project number 1. Pritansh, I would request to, Anshu, are you there?
Yeah, I have just joined again.
Yeah, I would suggest that one of you join from a mobile phone also, so that
No, we are not able to join from the mobile. That is the main problem.
okay.
I don't know what is happening today.
Okay. You want me to continue with the evaluation, or do you want to do it yourself, Anshu?
I think I will do, but you also please take care. I mean, if
Okay.
if it got disconnected.
Okay. Then you read out the speech objective.
Yeah. So, Pritansh, your speech objective is, the purpose of the project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to the second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the members to present a speech and receive feedback for the evaluator. Timer, please note the time. The time is for 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Pritansh.
Thank you, Anshu. So let me take everybody down the memory lane. Few decades ago or few years ago, when we were either in school or college, that fresh and lovely smell of brisk morning freshness, the lovely flowers, the butterflies, or the birds, and going along, walking down the road or in the school bus, reaching their school, putting your bags at your very designated places of your own choice so that you can sit with your very best friends and plan for the day what all you are going to carry out and how well you're going to carry out that day. I mean, of course, with all the mischievousness, and then going back to the assembly, attending the entire assembly for like 30-40 minutes, coming back and waiting for that one moment when the class teacher would arrive and everybody would be patiently waiting with alacrity for the attendance to take place. And that moment is how I'm going to start my speech today. So, good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. The topic of my speech today is present, sir. So, that's how we always used to start our day with. After everything happened, then all of us terrorized, sitting in one place, waiting for our sir or our class teacher to conduct the attendance. And as everybody knows, we had I mean, I am not sure about everyone, but okay, by a show of hands, could every just show that how many of us were actually willing or really regular until the point that attendance was conducted? Okay, I've got two. Okay, rest I'm just seeing the icon, so I'm assuming, yeah. Okay, fine. So yeah, I was among the ones too. But for those very few moments when I was not present, we had that bet going on. Who, uh, who amongst all of the group, all of the friends in the group, would have the least number of proxies? Now we were very famous, or rather, our group was very famous with that because we tried our best. Trust me, we tried our very best. The school started at 7 a.m. in the morning. Be it summer, be it winter, doesn't matter. And I'm pretty much sure people who attended school before our time would have faced it even worse. I'm 100% sure. And the teachers were even stricter back then. But with all the effort and all the dedication we had in our heart, we tried to do that still reach out at 7 a.m. in the morning. Because if we didn't, that one person whom we hated the most, the guard watching the school gates, who didn't let us in, even if it was 5 minutes past that time, designated time, and we couldn't go in for just one reason that we were 5 minutes late. Oh, we didn't used to love it at all. But in that moment was the moment when we decided who the best of our friends were. Why? Because that attendance that happened after the assembly was the one pain point where we had to mimic the voice of our very best of friends. And that's how we decided to take a poll. Instead of going on around with that for one day, we tried to make a contest out of it. In one fine class, I think I was in 11 at that time. So we made a contest out of that. At the end of 6 months, we will consolidate name of all the people in the group and see who was the one who was absent the most, and who was the one who provided an excellent proxy and did not get caught as well for during the entire period of 6 months. And that's how we decided whom we are going to prize. And fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of times even I did the proxy for someone. And you have heard my voice for a couple of times. It was not this course back then. And the worst part was that I am being shy a little bit right now, but I used to be a front bencher. I wasn't a back bencher, not popular enough, but I used to sit in the front bench. Still, I tried. I tried my best to do a proxy for someone else. But during that time, I did once or twice. Instead of going present, sir, I used to go present, sir, and that's how I got caught. So I realized that every effectiveness, every bit of effectiveness of that proxy lied in that confident voice. No matter what you do, no matter how you do, if you're going to go like present, sir, you will get caught, no matter where you are sitting. But if you're going at it with present, sir, you, whether it's you or not, attendance will definitely be marked. And I think that's one thing that I've taken from there and carried out throughout that. Yeah, if you are not capable enough, at least be confident enough. Because trust me, things never plan out the way in life like you really want to, ever. Sometimes it might, and it would be a present for you. That 100% dedication that you have shown would be rewarded to you by God by presenting you uh, without any XYZ routes. The plan A would work, but in all other cases where plan A would not work, you have to go till all the 25 different letters of the alphabet system. That is the way to go. That if you are not capable enough, be confident enough. And that's how we did it. And at the end of 6 months, I got a pretty decent spot. I was not the first though, but yeah, I got a pretty decent spot, and I was happy with that. That yeah, I can do it. And that's how my school days went. Back to you, Toastmaster. Thank you.
Great, Prathamesh, good job. Amazing. So you again took us back to old school days and proxy attendance and all, right? So that is again about confidence, right? This is what was conveyed by Prathamesh. It's all about confidence. So confidence something because of which our Kamal was being trashed there. Actually, it was all his confidence. He he actually thought that if I say something with confidence, this person is not going to touch me. Nothing would go wrong, right? And he was getting slap after slap again and again. Believe me, I counted till 12 and I stopped counting. And after that, they said, shouldn't we touch you now? He kept quiet this time. Got some wisdom, I believe. He kept quiet. And I was also happy that, I was also relaxed that, yeah, he's keeping quiet now. He won't get next one. They left him there only, and we were all there. We were all shocked, around 14, 15 of us. We were having this guilt also that, we couldn't help him. We couldn't even stop them. And they were actually good at beating, when exactly to give a slap and where exactly it has to be given. So, but this Kamal, once they left, he was not ready to give up. He said, Haresh, are you with me? I said, yeah, I'm with you. I was with you. You saw that, right? And he said, no, really, I'm asking you, are you with me? I said, yeah, of course I'm with you. He said, I know vice president of this college, and he will help us and we will give it back to them right now. I said, okay, come on, let's do it. So we went to our VP. His name was Lovely, and he was again one confident person, sort of politician again. So our Kamal, trash, torn out, worn out, went to him. And it took us around 10 minutes to find him in college. And he was near our canteen. It was Babu's canteen that time, maybe till now. So we found him there. He was like, Kamal, what happened to you? And our Kamal, he said, yeah, this guy, he thrashed me like anything, man. He slapped me, this and that. He told him, but tell me you're with me, right? And we have to give it back to him. Are you with me? He said, yeah, of course I'm with you. Let's go, let's meet him. So they started moving towards our president of the college, Trivedi. Let's put a hold here. And I would like to invite our distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder sir for his speech. We were waiting so eagerly. I always wait for his speeches because it will always have a lot of sense of humor in it, actually. I'm expecting the same. Before that, evaluator for him would be Surinder sir. So Surinder sir, to you.
Hello. Rupinder is
1 second, sir, before you begin, everyone, I'll be giving a speech, and once I finish, I'll be expecting questions from all of you. So please formulate your questions. So you can go ahead now.
Rupinder is giving a speech on question and answer sessions. The speech title is Pale Blue Dot. The purpose of the project is for the member to learn about and practice facilitating a question and answer session. The purpose of the speech is for the member to practice delivering an informative speech and running a well-organized question and answer session. The member is responsible for managing time so that there is adequate opportunity for both. Timer kindly notes that Rupinder will have a speech for 15 to 20 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
So let's all welcome well-known Surinder sir, distinguished Toastmaster. Rupinder sir, please.
I'm going to talk about the pale blue dot. The pale blue dot was a picture of the Earth that was taken on February 14, 1990. I'm going to share the screen with you so that you can see the picture for yourself. Now, this here, if you see, is the pale blue dot. It shows Earth somewhere around here in this beam of sunlight, if you are able to follow my cursor. And this photograph was taken when the Voyager 1 probe was somewhere around Saturn. The noted astrophysicist Carl Sagan requested that the Voyager be turned around and to take one last picture of our planet. And it seems quite lonely out there. I'm now going to recite what Carl Sagan had to say about this pale blue dot. Look at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of a joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every mother and father, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived here on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. The earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors so that in glory and triumph they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent the misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatred. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The earth is the only known world so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit? Yes. Settle? Not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the earth is where we make our stand. It is said that astronomy is a humbling and a character building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of a tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. I'm now open for questions.
Hi, Rupi. Thank you for that wonderful speech. I had a question. You spoke about is being able to one day be able to visit other planets. Do you think the obscurity of Earth being a small speck, does that kind of reduce when we can travel through space? Or is it just because we are a small dot? Physically, we're a small dot. When you say loneliness, is it just because we're confined in this little space? Or is it because we're just a small part of space? So I guess my question is, once we start traveling through space, are we less lonely?
I think the answer to that lies that there was a time when human beings were not that keen on traveling, not that keen on venturing out. Then they started moving out to other places, and then they came across rivers, and eventually they came across seas. And once they came across seas, they tried to figure out ways how to cross them. And today we have airlines, and we have ships, we have vessels that carry us across the world. Once that hunger was satiated, we now look forward to conquering space. And I have a question for all the fellow travelers out there. Does travel ever make you feel lonely? The answer is no. Then I guess that at some point, space travel will not make you feel lonely. I say that at some point because I don't know how long it will take. The space is not as small as the planet Earth. And imagine that it took us close to 2000 years to completely circumnavigate the globe to mark each and every point on it. I wonder how long is it going to take? I'm pretty sure that the people who started out, for example, Christopher Columbus, when he started out in search of India and ended up in America, or Marco Polo, when he eventually came to India, they must have felt lonely at some point because they were pioneers, because they were explorers. So I guess when we venture out into space, when we start visiting other planets, when we start thinking of colonizing other planets, in the beginning, it is going to be quite a lonely experience. But eventually, like I said, travel never makes you feel lonely. Eventually, we will grow used to it. If there is anything that the humankind has learned in all its years of existence, it is survival. And I suppose that one day it will figure out a way. Does it answer your question?
Yes, very well. Thank you, Rupi.
Anybody else? Any other question?
Rupi, so I have a question. Do you believe in time travel, and will it help us explore other places in the universe? Will it help?
I think time travel is a real thing, Avjinder, but not in the way that we imagine. There were some experiments that were conducted in the LRC, which is a huge tunnel underneath Netherlands. It actually borders 2 or 3 countries. It actually touches the border of at least 2 countries. And there it was demonstrated that time travel was possible. Is it practical? I'm not very sure, because when you combine the theory of relativity and the general theory of relativity and the physics of quantum mechanics, in order for time travel to be possible, I'm given to understand that both of these sciences will have to reconcile with each other. But I'm also given to understand that at a quantum level, all known laws of physics fail and new ones take over. And general theory of relativity that explains the larger, the laws of the larger objects, they follow different laws of physics. So just to give you an example, at the quantum level, you have protons, which are positively charged particles, which should ideally repel each other, but they are bound together in a cohesive unit in the nucleus. So apparently there is some other force at play there. The same force that would repel 2 like poles of a magnet, that same force is actually causing those particles to bind together. Until and unless we don't reconcile these 2 branches of physics, I don't think time travel will be possible in the way that you are imagining. There was also another interesting piece that I read the other day. It said that with time travel, you'll also have to take care of the space travel, because there's also the concept of space. Just to give you an example, suppose you were going to travel back 5 days in time. 5 days ago, the Earth was at a different position with relation to the sun. So you can't be in the same place and go back 5 days, because you'll find yourself millions of miles away from the Earth. That space concept also comes into the picture. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. And something related to time travel only on a humorous dimension. So in case you see yourself in another dimension, so what will you look like? What will be your qualities?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know what time travel looks like, so I can't tell you. But there was this joke that I read the other day, which said that if I weigh 125 kilograms on Earth, then I will weigh only 20 kilograms on the moon. So it's not really my fault that I am overweight. It's just that I'm on the wrong planet or on the wrong celestial body.
Yeah, that's good.
Any other question anyone has? We've got about 9 minutes to go.
Rupi, you talked about character building comes through studying space and astronomy. is then do you define character building as having a perspective? Is that a limited way of looking at character building? Is you can argue that being on Earth and learning to live in the human sphere, I guess, and learning how to deal with these small issues and learning with human behavior, actions is also character development. Is so how would you balance the two? Is having a very big, large perspective and being on one side, another side being able to live in the human sphere, knowing how to interact with humans. You don't have that character building, and when you're outside in space, you won't have that interaction. So how would you justify saying that astronomy is character building when it doesn't have all the elements of being human as a part of it?
I'll answer this question using an analogy, Amri. I was listening to this Bradman oration lecture by Rahul Dravid. Now, in that, he said that in order to be successful, in order to really enjoy what you're doing, and Rahul Dravid was a professional cricketer, he said you need to have the discipline of a professional, but the enthusiasm of an amateur. So he said that every time when you go out to bat, you really need to have that attitude that which you would have had at the beginning of your career, as if that today's inning will probably be my last one if I don't perform well. And once you're out there, you bring all of your experience into play. And that is where you behave like a professional. Now, when I extend this to the answer that you just gave, does thinking from the inside out matter, or does looking at the larger perspective matter? I believe it is a bit of both. I believe that we need to have a mindset where we are able to take care of those around us, and yet look at the larger perspective, because in a sense that is what matters. If you look at the way that we humans have lived so far, you will see that we focus too much on the inside approach, where we try to focus on the environment around us, and the rest of the environment, we literally said, could go wherever they wanted, for want of a better word. We have misused our environment to such an extent that right now we are paying the price for it. For example, Corona. One of the theories that I've been given to understand is that Corona would not have happened had it not been for the global warming. There's a book by Bill Bryson which says that deep down in the Earth's crust, there are bacteria who are working to restore the balance of the Earth. So if you see a lot of natural calamities, in fact, more natural calamities have happened in the past 100 years than those that happened in the past 2000 years. If you look at that, it is the planet that is responding. So whether you like it or not, if we are not going to focus on the bigger picture, if we are not going to look at ourselves as a part of something which is whole, we will suffer in the end. And this is what we've been doing. If you look at it, we've occupied a geographical area, we've consumed every natural resource that is out there, and once every natural resource is consumed, we still suck it dry for whatever little amount that remains. And when that happens, when it is totally useless, we move on to another geographical area and we start doing the same thing to that place. So in effect, we are thinking so locally that that global outlook is nowhere in the picture. And animals, they are better off than us because they feed off the land, but they only take what is desired. We, on the other hand, indulge in so much opulence, so much wastage, that we don't care for the global picture. And from that perspective, when Carl Sagan says that astronomy is a humbling experience, just that one picture of a speck of dust in the vastness of the universe actually shows you where what you are really. I mean, today I might buy a house and I might say that, oh, yes, I'm the owner of this house. What I don't realize is that I am the owner of a fraction of a dot for a very limited amount of time. And from that perspective, it is very humbling. But from the other side, if you look at it, it is an achievement for me. I've worked all my life for it. So there does exist an inherent dichotomy. I hope that answers your question, at least somewhat.
Right, very interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other questions? I think we have time for one last question.
Just one question from my side.
Yep.
First of all, congratulations for delivering such a nice speech. All is coming through from our heart, actually, directly. The question here is, you said that, this loneliness can be, we can actually, get rid of this loneliness through travel, but there also we find that, we are alone. But don't you think that, to get rid of our loneliness, the best thing is our family, our friends, the people we, spend most of our time?
To that, I would recount my first ever overseas experience, right? I traveled alone and I went to Minneapolis. It's in Minnesota in USA. Now, I landed at about 11 in the night. And I was wondering whether I'll get anything to eat when I get to my apartment. So I asked my taxi cab driver to stop at 24/7 store, the equivalent of what they have. And I bought some bread, I bought some jam. And as I was stepping out, I saw a carton of milk. And I love to separate the cream from the milk and then spread it on the bread and then spread another layer of jam on another, combine them together and have them. It's quite yummy. So I brought that home. I boiled the milk and I said in the morning when the cream separates, I will have that. To my surprise, the cream did not separate. And throughout my stay, the cream did not separate. Only when I was leaving did somebody tell me that they already separate the cream so that they can sell it as a different product. Okay. Now, it was lonely. I was frustrated because I could not get the cream out of the milk. But at the same time, I have a story to tell you. So yes, it does get lonely, but then you have a story to tell. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience. I will now close my speech because it is now exactly 20 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Rupinder sir, for again delivering such a wonderful speech. As I've said, that it's all coming straight from the heart. It's all your past instances, experiences, out of which I believe you have created this beautiful speech. All about as I could make out, we are being so tiny, such a very small, minute, micro fraction of the world, of the universe, as you said. But still, our egos are so high that we keep on forgetting our environment and all. So we should actually get rid of this micro attitude and start thinking, start having this macro approach of taking care of others, not getting into unwanted disputes and all, and taking care of environment. So I was there, of course, in the corridor, and my friend Kamal, he was being thrashed, and then we went to our vice president of the college that time, Mr. Lovely, and he assured us that he will do something, and he will take revenge, being so vengeful. So we all walked straight to Mr. Trivedi, who was president that time. And again, it took us around 5-10 minutes, and then we found him in a big hall. He was having good time with his group, 2 or 3 ladies and actually his friends, well-built friends, actually very strong one. And our Lovely, who was vice president, he sort of actually opened the door of that hall, and just peeped inside, and he said, Trivedi, can you please come out? All of a sudden, Trivedi face, he again turned red. He came out, he said, "Isko leke aaya? This is your guardian or what?" And he again started thrashing my friend Kamal, my poor friend Kamal again. This time he was not using his hand, believe me, he was only using his kicks. And he gave him good, he was not alone actually in doing that. He had 2 or 3 other friends of him who were also good at that. And they again thrashed him like kicks with fists. And this time, man, it was really bad for my poor friend. But he didn't lose his confidence. He kept on telling, "Don't touch me, I'm telling you, this time you don't touch me, this time you don't touch me." And it kept on happening. With that, I will take you to the next topic of the day, which will be our table topics, which will be covered by Avjinder. So Avjinder, over to you. If you're ready to take it up.
Yep, thank you. So let me call volunteers here. Anyone, or shall I pick? All right, Surendra sir. Sir, the table topic for you today is for an alcoholic, one drink is too many and 1,000 drinks are never enough. Does this logic apply to other areas of life as well? So I'll repeat. For an alcoholic, one drink is too many and 1,000 are not enough. Does this logic apply to other areas of life as well? Over to you, sir. So we can't hear you.
So you're not unmuted.
Logic of one drink too many. For an alcoholic, maybe not very significant, but I think the philosophy of this whole topic is very powerful. Since we as individuals desire for something, and when we desire for something, we believe that if we have just got it, we will be able to satisfy that desire. But when we get into that, we realize that we want some more. And when we want some more, we start indulging in things that are much beyond what we really want and what we really need. To me, the most important part is to know what is your limit, where you don't make a nuisance about yourself or create to the society around you a negative feeling about you, as well as having you as part of that group, of that society. It's important that you and I know what our needs are and therefore tailor our requirements for those needs and not look for things which are much beyond. A case in point would be people who we do not like anymore. We started liking them, but then as they started proliferating into different areas and started vitiating the atmosphere around us, we realized they were not the right people to follow. So to sum up, I believe, know your limits and work within them and not allow yourself to be drifted into something which you are not able to accept anymore. Over to you, table topic master. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful. Let me take the next topic. Who would like to volunteer?
I would like to volunteer, please.
Yeah, sure. So thank you. So the next one is something that I picked up from Pritansh's speech. He said, things never get planned in life like you want to. Contradict. You have to contradict this statement. Things never get planned in life like you want to. Over to you, Amri.
Thank you so much. Life never turns out as you plan. Why plan at all? I can give a personal example from myself, which I think can relate to a lot of people. I'm born and raised in Canada. I met my husband there. We had a plan that we're going to come to India for 1 year. I was so excited to come to India. I was so excited to learn about the culture of India, about the people of India. I've heard so much about people are so spiritually enlightened. You go to India, you're going to grow and evolve and become so much more. And just to have the worldly experience of being a part of India. I planned all of that, planned to learn all of that. As you can understand, nothing came out as planned, which I think is most the cases for most of us in life. 1 year became 15 years. And instead of becoming spiritually involved, I think I became a lot more cynical. I learned to speak a little bit of Hindi, learned a lot of Jugaad. I learned to see the hustle bustle and learn to negotiate and fight for 10, 15, 20 rupees with every sabzi wala. And so all these different skills you picked up, which were never part of the plan. But so what is, I think for all of us, when we're talking about planning, it's we can plan, we can prepare, but a lot of it comes down to is opportunity. When it meets preparation is when you create your own luck. So planning and luck are two very similar things. Is both of them, you can hope that you'll have the best, but both of them have a lot to do with opportunities you get and has to do a lot to do with your own preparation. And then you kind of just roll the dice and hope for the best. So planning, I would say 100% go for it, but never expect it to work out as it's planned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. It was lovely. I think, yeah, I mean, at times we have to leave something on the fate as well. So it plays a lot of part in our life. Thank you. So let me take the next table topic. Who can volunteer for the table topic? Next one.
Can we ask Ruchita to go for it?
Yep. Ruchita, we game for it?
Yeah.
All right. So people say that dreams really come true, but aren't nightmares dreams too? I'll repeat. People say dreams really come true, but aren't nightmares also dreams too? Over to you, Ruchita.
Okay. This is a very interesting topic. When I heard the first word dreams come true, I found it very easy, but now it looks like this is going to be a bit challenging. Well, I think yes, nightmares are dreams, and if they come true, then you have to be mentally prepared to face them, because at times they do come true, or when you wish that they should not. But I can share one of my I'm always scared of no matter how much I know, but yes, I'm always scared of speaking in public, like facing the audience. And whenever I do a lot of preparation, but whenever I'm about to speak, I just go blank. And that is one of my nightmare. And and in one of my college speech, what happened was that I voluntarily participated in one of the stage show that I will be an anchor. I prepared day and night. It was for 4-5 days that we prepared with one of my colleague. But at the time when I was about to speak, I was totally blank. There was a complete set of audience, and I was not speaking for a second or two. And my colleague was looking at me but at that 1 minute, they just filled up that particular gap. I took a moment, but I started speaking, and that was like really a moment where I realized no matter how much I know, if I can't speak, it will be a problem. And that is one reason I'm here for just building that confidence to face the audience, especially in front of stage. So yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruchita.
Wonderful.
And it was wonderful. Very well put up. I won't say that I didn't want it to add to one of your nightmares or one of your dreams. So, but still, we are all here for that.
No, I'm preparing myself so that I can speak. So it's fine. Like, you know.
And you're doing wonderful job. And we all are preparing ourselves for that only. And you are doing a wonderful job. So I think we have 15 minutes.
We're going to
So
run out
maybe
of time. So
we can move to the next evaluation section. Over to you, team out of the day, Harish.
Thank you, Avjinder. Such lovely topics. Amazing one. Actually, it will take time to think about those. So people were taking their time. Actually, they were buying for time and they were getting into it. Amazing topics. Thank you, Avjinder, for that. So yeah, I was about to actually finish that our college corridor story with my confident friends. So it all happened like that. So they were still in the process of actually thrashing him, giving him this time actually they were giving him kicks also. And in the end, they when it all got over, this President Trivedi, I'm being so proud for that. Actually, he called me. He called me there. He said, "Come to corner. I want to talk to you." I said, "Yeah." He said, "You look pretty sound, Harish. And let's do one thing." I said, "You know what? Let's compromise." So compromise was the word which used to happen at that point in time. And I was thinking in my mind, man, what sort of compromise is that? They have beaten this guy like anything. And now they're saying, let's compromise. And we don't have option also. I said, yeah, let's go for that. We will be, at least I will be in good books of yours. So it all ended like that. So our friend, our convent friend Kamal might have learned something. But even after that, he was same guy. So that was the story actually about my confident friend Kamal. Let's move to the another phase of our session. That would be our evaluation round. So it's back to you, Payal. If you can take it from here, you can start on evaluation.
Yes, thank you, Timod Harish. Am I audible?
Yeah, pretty well.
Okay. So let me.
You're tilted.
Just a second. Oh, I'm so sorry for that. I was just interrupted by my son.
No problem, Payal.
Okay. Thank you, Timod Harish. Now coming on to the evaluation section, let me call upon my tag team to present the report, starting with the timer. Can we have?
You have to call speech evaluators first.
Okay. Okay, starting with the speech evaluators, let me call upon the first evaluator for Sumit's speech. I guess, who was it? Amri. Amri, can you just come upon and give your report for his speech?
Sure. Thank you so much. Sumit, thank you so much for letting us enjoy your icebreaker speech. I think right from the very beginning, you caught my attention with your intro. It made my ears go up right away. 37 years ago, I met my parents. I thought that had a lot of wit to it. And throughout your speech, that you had a very strong structure, and even the way you transitioned from different parts of your life was had a lot of visualization. One day I woke up and I was in college. So it's very interesting to see you go through the different cycles of your life, and I really enjoyed that. Some areas which I think that you can improve on is eye contact. I know when we're all working, when we're doing a lot of video conferencing, our eyes might tend to go upwards towards the camera or towards the light, but it's important to be looking at the audience and to maintain that eye contact. And also voice modulation is something that you would like to, I think you can really use that to build your storytelling. Is we saw through your stories, you had a lot of ups and downs, but your voice wasn't kind of matching with your story in that one sense. Is like you spoke about in your childhood, I was sick, or you spoke about is the times you had that self-reflection. You said, I spoke to myself. I think at those times, you can use your voice to also say a lot about your story. Is maybe pause, rather than using the same voice as you continue. If you're able to play with your voice, play with the kind of dramatic pauses you have, even that becomes a strong part of your storytelling. I really enjoyed was a reflection that you gave at the end. And I think it was a great messaging that you shared as well. And I think the great part of having a story is having the structure and having some takeaway for the audience, which I think that you really reflected. The examples you gave just really narrowed in on the message that you wanted to give. So I think that you have a very bright future ahead of you in Toastmasters. Continue with your storytelling. You have a very strong knack for it. Only a few small elements of you learning to use your voice to match your story is something that will really take your storytelling to a different level. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Amory. Now I would like to call upon our next evaluator, who's Anshu, to give her report on Pritansh's speech.
Yeah, thank you, Pritansh. Your speech has taken back to our school days, and almost all of us have some point of time have made proxy for our friends. Pritansh, it was a nice speech, comfortable. I really enjoyed listening to your speech. You were able to use your hand gesture while saying present, sir. Your tone was able to depict that you were confident while saying present, sir, and you were non-confident when you said present, sir. So I felt that while delivering a speech at times, you were not very clear. I had a troubling hearing you. You should focus on clarity of your voice. I felt you were relaxed while speaking, and attentiveness could be better. In this speech, you could have cited some of your fun events that you were caught and could make it a little humorous. I enjoyed hearing you, and I look forward to hear more excellent speeches. It was a well-delivered speech. Thank you, Pritansh.
Thank you so much, Anshu. Now, I would like to call upon our last evaluator, who's our veteran Surinder Sir, to give his report on Rupinder Sir's speech. Over to you, sir.
Is my audio okay?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Thank you. Rupinder, we don't call you the crew of Toastmasters for no reason. The topic that you chose today, the pale blue dot, is a very thought-provoking and very in-depth understanding of the world around us, the earth around us. Many million years back, when Aryabhat talked about the earth, and when he did not see through a picture and saw it as a dot in a ray of light, he still said that we on the earth are just like a speck in the universe. And the universe controls every aspect of our life on this earth. Carl Sagan used similar analogy, but now he had a picture from a satellite or from one of those spacecrafts, which photographed the same speck of dust through a whole lot of, stream of light. What you really mesmerized me with, the entire understanding and the entire engulfing of the people who inhabit this earth. It was beautifully said. And it is a brilliant topic to talk about when we in Toastmasters are enlightened by a topic that you used today. I loved the rendition of the speaker as a speech topic, as I mentioned. It was beautifully structured. The various evaluations that he did about people around us was amazing. A very in-depth analysis of the situation which exists around us is what he had. If I do have one recommendation to the speaker, it would be that I, for one, found it difficult to understand where you moved out of Carl Sagan's quotes and you had your own views. I thought that transition, if it was a little more worked on, it would make the speech absolutely wonderful. But I'm not taking away the credit. It was an amazing speech. I loved the topic and the way you went about it. And the question answer sessions, my God, you was just brilliant. The way you answered each and every question, it was amazing. Thank you for giving us such a wonderful speech. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Surinder sir. So now moving on to the next section, which is our timer, account, and grammarian report. I would like to call upon the timer to give her report.
Yeah, I'll be sharing my screen for a few. So today, the speaker one, Sumit, took 5 minutes 20 seconds. Speaker two, Ritansh, took 6 minutes 12 seconds. Speaker 3, Rupinder, took 19 minutes 55 seconds. Now, evaluator for Sumit, Amri took 2 minutes 33 seconds. Anshu took 1 minute 50 seconds. Shaurendra sir took 3 minutes 23 seconds. And for table topics, Shaurendra sir took 2 minutes 9 seconds. Amri took 2 minutes 3 seconds. Ruchita took 1 minute 54 seconds. And our TMOD of the day, Harish, took 10 minutes till now. Over to you, Payal.
Yes, thank you so much, Anshu. Now I would like to call upon the accounter of the day to give his report.
Thank you, Payal. All right, so I'll start with Harish. So Harish, you use more than 10 hours and 10 UNOs and 2 SOs. I observed that you have the habit of saying quite often. So probably you may want to look into that. Payal, in your GE role, I observed 3 hours. Speaker, Sumit, I noticed only 2 hours. And considering that it is your first icebreaker, I think you did a commendable job. There were small short pauses were there, but it's better to take small short pauses rather than using filler words. Pritansh, I observed 9 R's and 2 OK in your speech. Rupinder, in Rupinder's speech, I observed none. In table topics, again, we did a good job. There was, I did not notice any filler word in Shurender sir's speech as well as in Amri's table topics. And I observed 4 R's in Ruchita's table topics. Regarding evaluation, again, I did not notice any R's in evaluation by Amri. Anshu did a couple of R's, and Shurendra sir did not use any filler or any R's. Thank you. That's about my.
Okay, thank you so much, Kapil. Now, I would like to call upon the grammarian of the day to give her report. Over to you.
Hi everyone. So today I think we did a very good use of grammar. There was some words which there was a good usage of English by evaluators as well as speakers. Like we heard, like I noticed the use of the word falling short of the mark in Sumit's speech with best of my abilities. Alacrity was used by both Sumit and Pritansh in their speech. Rupinder sir used good words like aggregate of joy and suffering, mote of dust, scarcely distinguishable. And evaluators also used good words like strong knack for it by Ambri, and Surinder sir used thought-provoking in his evaluation speech. So overall, it was good.
Thank you, Ruchita. So now we are done with the tag team report and talking about the meeting in general. What I observed was it was a great meeting considering the environment and the platform we are working upon. The meeting started a little over time, which we can take care of in our upcoming meetings. The agenda of the meeting was set with most of the roles predefined. All the role players performed their role well, except for a few glitches with a few members, which we can work upon again with advanced preparation. And the meeting was conducted with a lot of enthusiasm, thanks to our team mod Haresh. The speeches was very well prepared, and all the speakers had an excellent delivery in terms of content. And not forget to mention our Rupinder sir, who gave such an impressive speech that we were totally engrossed. The tag team were prompt and gave a concise and perfect report. Over and above, the meeting followed the format of any Toastmaster meeting, punctuated with a lot of energy and eagerness to evolve. Thank you so much. Over to you, Team Haresh.
Thank you, Payal, for such a deep evaluation. Great work you did today. So Kapil has already left, I think, the meeting, and at the end of the day, we need to, Rupinder sir, if we don't have, the voting to be done, we can work on the roles for the next week. Rupinder sir, we can't hear you if you're speaking on mute.
I think we should get started on the roles for next week.
Okay, great. So any volunteers for the roles for next week? Speeches? Sir, you're speaking on mute.
Speech slot.
The speech slot, please.
Amri is requested for a speech slot. She's
Sir, can you keep me as a backup speaker? I mean, I'm not very sure, but I just want to give a speech, but just as a backup speaker. In case I don't turn up, there's no loss, and there's no change in the...
So I had just a question in general. For the second project of level 1, that is evaluation and feedback, is it necessary to give the both speeches first after recommendation and first before recommendation, second after, and then evaluation?
Both speeches don't have for both the speeches you don't have to repeat the same speech. You can give another speech. but you must tell your evaluator what was the feedback you got for the speech, so that your evaluator can watch out for incorporating that feedback.
Okay. And is it necessary to give the evaluation speech or like the evaluation after both the speeches are complete, or I can give evaluation?
You can do an evaluation earlier also. There is no such hard and fast rule.
Okay, so next in the next meeting, I can go for an evaluator if Payal is up for a speech.
When can I give my speech introduction?
Pritansh, I'll just stay as a backup speaker because I might fail to give up the speech in the
Take
end.
up speech evaluation then, Payal. Take up speech evaluation. Take up speech evaluation.
Evaluation.
Yeah.
Okay. Evaluation. Okay, sir.
And I think Richita can give the icebreaker speech next week.
Yeah, I will give.
So how many speakers do we have next week? Harish? 3.
We have Surendra sir, Ruchita, Payal. No, Payal is not giving. We need one more.
Amri is giving. Amri said on group that
we have 3 now.
Okay, Amri.
Pritansh also wants to give one. Oh, no, you want
Pritansh wants to be evaluated.
So sorry, sir, we did a decision on that since already we have 3 speakers and I've given speech this time, so I can do an evaluation next, and maybe after that I can give a speech.
Okay.
Okay.
What about TMOD, GE, TTM?
Can we take some, or we need to decide now?
I think we should decide at least on the TMOD. Okay. So somebody needs to be there to kind of drive the meeting.
Or
actually, I can take up being a TMOD, and I'll keep the theme as how to be a TMOD.
Okay, table topics.
Anshu can take on table topics if she's there.
Anshu has left. I think she could do one more evaluation probably. She's trying to learn evaluation, so that would be.
And give her an evaluator's role.
Okay.
Sumit, will you be wanting to do table topics?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Let Sumit be the table topic master.
I can do evaluations, one of the evaluations.
So your 3 evaluations are taken care of. Your TTM has been taken care of. Your TM.
We need general evaluators, sir.
Okay, let me take the general evaluator role.
Okay. Then Kapil will take table topic master since he's not.
Avjinder is ready to take.
G.
Avjinder is taking general evaluator. Let's give Kapil the table topic master role.
Okay.
And we can ask Joyita if she's coming.
Sorry, sir, Kapil for what?
Table topic master.
So Sumit is not taking table topics.
Sumit is table topic master.
Okay.
Can take on evaluation.
We still have tag to figure out, but that we'll figure out later.
Tag can also, yeah.
Okay, fine. So we are all done for the day. Me being the TMOD. Sorry, sir, you were saying something? So
I just wanted to say, remember that tomorrow, 10:30, you, Ajvinder, and our friend Kapil will have to meet me at Supermart. 10:30, please. 10:30.
That is on Thursday, right?
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow is Thursday.
Yeah. Okay, sir. One more thing I wanted to talk to you. So, if others want to leave, apart from EC members and Rupinder sir.